Hey guys, so this is going to be an update on what's been going on. Now I know I had said that, and I've been saying for a while that I wanted to make another video about the kingmakers and the kingbreakers, and I'm going to. The reason I haven't done it is because there's so much to cover when it comes to that topic, and I, um, I have to organize my thoughts on that matter. It's going to be a long video, and then I know I'm going to stutter through it because when I get nervous and stressed, I stutter, and I'm stressed. I'm stressed. Anyway, so what's been going on? I got a job. I work as a delivery person. I deliver food to people, and I do it through one of those apps where, and I'm not going to say which one, but where people call in and they order from different locations, and you go to those locations, pick up the food, and then drop it off. So since I don't have a car, I either walk or I use my bike. And as you know from another video, I got a bike just for that purpose, and I got the cheapest one because I figured the perpetrators would vandalize it, and they did. Literally the same day that I got it, I left it chained outside, to a bike rack. Came back and they had vandalized it. So it's fixed now, though. It's fixed now, and so that's what I've been using, and so far so good. It's tiresome, but I actually enjoy it after being locked up for so long inside. I enjoy being able to get out and roam around and things, and it really too. This is the only job I could get because I'm a caretaker for my mother, and I have to be here to make sure she takes her medicine and to make sure she eats and all the daily activities. So I needed a job where I could come back to the apartment when I had to, and this gives me the chance to do that. I can work my own hours. I can come back when I have to. It's not a 9 to 5 job, which I couldn't take right now, even if I could get one. Although I couldn't get one anyway because I've been a caretaker for so long, and that doesn't count as real work experience, unfortunately. So anyway, I like the job. Most of the customers have been really nice. Um, a couple have been a little bit cold, but most were nice. But, and this is what I anticipated, I have been followed around. There are a lot of people following me, and a lot of them, not all of them, but a good majority are Russian, and I'm not going to blame Russia for this. I say they're Russian. They could be pretending. They could be faking the accents. I don't know. They could be faking the accents. Someone could might be trying to make it seem like it's Russia doing this. I don't know, but they'll follow me around. They'll look at their phone, then they'll look back at me, then they'll look at their phone again, then they'll look back at me, they'll smirk, and then they'll walk off. Or they'll flip up their camera phone at me to show me that they're taking a picture. You know, they'll have the perpetrators too, make certain comments to me regarding personal events in my life, personal experiences, things that I've said or done in the apartment. And these are not random things that could, apply to anyone. So and when I'm working, I have to stay cool, right? I can't just shout because I don't want to lose my job. And they try to provoke people. They try to set up the targets, right? They'll provoke and provoke and provoke. And when you respond negatively, they use that against you, right? Now they've got you, right? They can terrorize you in every possible way. But as soon as you even flinch, they make it seem like you're the worst person in the world. You're worse than anyone, right? So I've tried to stay cool. But yesterday, it was a little difficult. One of my first, not one of my first orders, it was literally the first order of the day. And I went to pick it up, and there was a group of young guys in the restaurant, and they were talking loudly and laughing loudly, and creating. They were dropping things and throwing things, and I'm thinking, okay, let me just get my order and get out. But I didn't address them, and they didn't address me initially. I went and I got the order. But it required me to get a drink for the person. So I went over to the soda machine, and one of the guys was using it. So I waited behind him, and he kept looking back at me, asking what I was doing, And I said, look, I'm just waiting to use the machine, right? So I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm just gonna play it cool here. I'm not gonna start up. It's a group, and I'm alone. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, what happened? So the guy, he was taking his time, and there was a straw on the floor, and he looked at it, he looked at me, he looked at the straw again, then he looked at me, and he smiled broadly, and he said, pick it up. You pick it up for me. Now, here's, normally I would have, it's not a big deal. I pick things up for people all the time. It seems like people follow me around dropping things just to have me pick them up. But the difference here was that my hands were full. I had my carry bag, I had my, it was on my back, but I had, my phone in one hand, I had the soda cup in the other, ready to fill it with the straw. I mean, the straw they gave us, they gave me, right? And, my hands were completely full. I couldn't just bend down and pick it up. His hands were empty. He was holding one thing, a burrito. He could have easily bent down and picked it up. Why is he asking me when he sees my hands are full, right? And plus, the perpetrators know that I don't like germs. It was on the floor and it was dirty, and so I said, look, my hands are full. Can't you just pick it up? And he's like, no, you pick it up for me. Why? And it started to click that, okay, this might have been a setup. And I said, look, my hands are full. Just if you don't want to pick it up, just go ask them for another one, because the counter was right there. He could have just asked them for another one too. He didn't want to do that, and so he tried to take mine. He said, well, give me yours. I'm thinking, okay, this is a setup, and they're trying to provoke me. This is absurd. I said, no, you just go get a new one, and I should have just given it to him. Then he called me some slurs. He went to the counter, and I didn't quite hear what he said. He called me some slurs again. He said this, such and such, I'm not going to repeat it. And then he lied about me. I think he said that I took his straw, and he was trying to set me up to make me look bad, like I had done something wrong when I hadn't. I was about to lose my cool. I was really about to lose my cool and start shouting. I didn't. One, because I don't want to lose my job. Two, because they were in a group, a typical, it's just like the typical cowardly predator. They gather in a group against a lone, easy target. I look funny, I sound funny, they see me as someone they can start up with without consequence. And for the most part, they're usually right. So I really had to control myself for many reasons. One, I could have gotten my ass kicked. I can't take on a group. Two, I could have lost my job if they can do what they want to you. And as soon as you flinch, you're the bad one. You're worse than anyone. They try to make it seem, right? And three, because they were not white. It could have been turned, if I lost my cool, it could have been turned into a Karen Darren or a Karen Ken video, right? Because what happens with those videos, I mean, no, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of crazy Karens in the world, but there are some situations where, a group of people will start with someone and he or she will respond negatively to the provocation, and then that's when the filming starts. That's when the recording starts, and that's all that is shown in those videos. And then you see another so-called Karen or Darren, right? But what happened first is never shown. And I knew that it could have been a setup for that too. So, yeah, I kept my cool and I walked out. So later in the day, and I was in a pretty upscale area of the city, and I got a call to go into, in order to go into, and I end up at this mall. It's a really big mall. It's an upscale mall with a food court, and I've been getting orders to go there quite a lot because they have some pretty popular restaurants there. Well, every time I go, there's someone. And the mall, even with the city opening, the mall is still pretty empty. So it's not like there are a lot of people, but there's always someone sitting there. And as soon as I pass, they tap their nose, or they do the nose gesture where just right under it, they do the little rub, the rub or the tap. And two, yesterday, so there's this guy. There's a guy, and now I have started to take public transportation again, just because I've had the vaccine. I've had the vaccine, and I feel a little more comfortable doing that. And I try to work in populated areas where I know that I'm going to get a lot of jobs. So I'm not gonna take rideshare all the way there. It's gonna I won't even earn back in a day what I paid to get there and home. So I've been taking public transportation, and there's this guy who always meets me on the bus, right? Always either sits in front of me or in back of me. Saw him in the food court yesterday, and he looked up at me, did the nose tap, Well, he didn't do the tap. He did the under the nose rub. Looked back down at his phone, looked back at me, right? And then as I was walking further down, what happened? Another guy came, and this guy was white, white, overweight, and he did the under the nose rub. Didn't say anything though. Didn't say anything. It's they just want me to know they're still there. They're still there. They're still following me. It's but it's as unnerving as the people who make comments about something I said or did at home, right? Something going on in my personal life. I don't know. Either way, I like the job. I'm trying to maneuver around the perpetrators who are going to give me a hard time, and I know that, and I have to find a way to live somehow. I can't just lock myself up. I'm trying. I'm trying. Anyway, I'm going to get to the video about the Kingmakers and the Kingbreakers soon, because there have been events that really are pushing me to make that video, and I know I have to do it. I just have to organize my thoughts, and it's crazy because when I'm pushed to do something, that's when I need to do it the most, but it's also when it's the hardest to do because I get stressed and then I stutter, and if we're talking about making a video, I'm going to stutter through the video, and soon, I promise. Peace.